Have you ever noticed how fragile most people's peace really is? One rude comment, one unfair moment, one person cutting them off in traffic, and suddenly their entire day is ruined. They lose their composure. They raise their voice. They let anger take the driver's seat. But what if you could live differently? What if you could walk through life untouchable, steady and unshaken? What if no insult, no drama, no negativity could steal your peace? That's not just a dream, it's a decision. And today I want to show you how to never let anyone make you angry or bothered again. See, anger is not a sign of strength. It's actually a sign of weakness. Anyone can explode. Anyone can scream. Anyone can clap back with insults. That takes no discipline, no wisdom, no control. But the one who remains calm, the one who can stand steady in the middle of chaos. That's true strength. That's real power. The world celebrates noise. We glorify people who shout the loudest, argue the hardest, make the most dramatic scenes. But if you pay attention, those same people are often the weakest inside. Their emotions control them, their peace is fragile, and their lives are ruled by what others say or do. You don't want to live like that. You don't want to be tossed around like a ship in a storm every time someone else decides to test you. When you learn to master your emotions, something shifts. You stop being reactive. You stop giving people control over your state of mind. You stop being the puppet they can manipulate. Because here's the truth. Every time you get triggered, every time you let anger explode, you hand someone else the remote control to your life. They push a button, you react. They insult you, scream. They criticize you, spiral. And without realizing it, you've given them all the power. But when you decide, no more, my peace is mine. My emotions are mine. My reactions are mine. You take that power back. You stop being controlled, and you start living with control. Think of the people you admire most in life. Leaders, mentors, even heroes in history. Were they the ones who lost their minds at every challenge numb? They were the ones who remained calm when the storm was raging. They were the ones who could think clearly when everyone else was losing their head. Calm is not passive, it's powerful. Now let's be honest. We've all been there. Someone says something stupid, and you feel the fire rise inside. Your heart races, your chest tightens. Your mind starts building the perfect comeback. But here's the catch. When you fire back, you don't actually feel better, do you? Maybe for a second. But then you're left drained, guilty, and wondering why you let that person control you in the first place. That's because anger doesn't solve problems. It only creates new ones. Arguments don't build peace. They just burn bridges. And every time you give in to that impulse, you're losing a little more of yourself. But imagine this instead. Someone insults you in public. Everyone's waiting for the drama. And you smile. You stay calm. You let their words fall flat because you refuse to pick them up. What happens? You don't just keep your peace, you elevate yourself. You show everyone that your spirit can't be shaken by cheap shots. And the truth is, nothing rattles an enemy more than a person they can't provoke. This is the essence of strength, being unbothered in a world full of noise. Not because the world has changed, but because you have. When you really think about it, anger is like quicksand. The more you fight in it, the deeper you sink. The more you argue, the louder you shout, the more energy you burn, and still you don't escape. Anger never frees you, it traps you. And most people don't even realize they're living their lives stuck in that trap. How many relationships have been broken not because of betrayal or distance, but simply because someone couldn't control their tongue in a heated moment? How many opportunities have been lost because someone got offended, exploded, and burned bridges they could never rebuild? How many people spend their nights restless, replaying arguments in their minds, reliving insults, torturing themselves with things that don't even matter anymore? That's the real cost of anger. It doesn't just hurt the moment it poisons your future. But here's the good news. You don't have to live that way. You don't have to keep giving away your peace like it's cheap. You can choose a higher path. And that path begins with self-mastery. See, real mastery isn't about controlling the world. You can't control the traffic. You can't control rude people. You can't control betrayal, criticism, or disrespect. If your peace depends on the world behaving perfectly, you will never have peace. But if your peace depends on you, on your discipline, on your choices, then nothing and no one can take it away. Think of it like this. Life is a storm. You can't stop the wind. You can't stop the rain. But you can build yourself into a shelter so strong that no storm can shake it. That shelter is your self-control. That shelter is the decision: I will not give you my peace. I will not hand you my power. I will not let you disturb the calm I've built within me. Some of you might be thinking, but if I stay calm, people will walk over me. If I don't defend myself, they'll think I'm weak. That's the lie anger tells you. But let me flip that on its head. When you lose your temper, that's when you're weak. That's when you've shown your enemy exactly how to control you. True strength is quiet. True confidence doesn't need to shout. Look at the eagle. The crows can peck at it, scream at it, try to distract it. But the eagle doesn't waste time fighting them. It simply rises higher, higher, until the crows can't follow. That's what calm does. It lifts you above the drama. Let me give you another image. Picture a martial arts master in a fight. The untrained fighter swings wildly, burning energy, screaming, flailing. The master, calm, controlled, focused. Every move, deliberate. That's why the master always wins. Not because of more noise, but because of more discipline. Life works the same way. And here's something I want you to remember. Calm is not passive. Calm is active strength. It's choosing to think when others are losing their minds. It's choosing to hold your tongue when others are begging for a reaction. It's choosing peace when the world is begging for chaos. The next time you feel anger rising, pause and ask yourself, what do I lose if I explode right now? The answer is always the same. You lose your peace, your dignity, your focus, and often the respect of others. But if you stay calm, you lose nothing. In fact, you gain everything. You gain clarity. You gain control. You gain respect. Not the shallow kind, that comes from fear, but the deep kind that comes from admiration. And let's talk about respect for a moment. People think anger earns respect. It doesn't. Anger might earn you fear for a second, but fear fades. Respect grows when people see that you cannot be shaken. They'll test you at first. They'll poke, they'll prod, they'll try to rattle you. But when they realize you won't bend, when they see that your peace is unbreakable, they'll stop mocking you and start respecting you. I'll never forget a story about a man who worked in one of the most toxic offices imaginable. Gossip, insults, constant tension. Every day his coworkers tried to drag him into arguments, tried to provoke him. But no matter what, he stayed calm. He didn't ignore them out of pride. He just chose not to give them control. At first, they laughed at him. They called him soft, weak, naive. But after months of failing to rattle him, something changed. They started to respect him. People came to him for advice. His boss noticed his steadiness. And when it came time for a promotion, guess who was chosen? The calm one. Because while everyone else was wasting energy on drama, he was building trust. That's the power of calm. It doesn't just protect your peace, it advances your purpose. It elevates you above the crowd. It teaches the world that you can't be bought, manipulated, or triggered. So from this moment on, make a decision. Decide that no one gets free rent in your mind. No critic, no hater, no rude stranger deserves space in your soul. You don't need to clap back. You don't need to defend yourself against every insult. You don't need to let anger rule you. Because you have something greater, the discipline of self-mastery, the strength of silence, the superpower of calm. And here's the best part: once you master this, life gets lighter. The noise around you will still be there, but it won't affect you anymore. The storms will still come, but you'll be the shelter standing firm. And in that strength, you'll discover a peace so unshakable that nothing and no one can steal it. The truth is, staying calm isn't something you just decide once and never struggle with again. It's a practice. It's a discipline. It's like training a muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it gets. And the good news is anyone can learn this. Anyone can build the kind of inner strength that makes you untouchable. So how do you train yourself to never get angry or bothered? You start with awareness. Pay attention to the moments when your peace slips. Notice the triggers, the little sparks that set your fire off. Maybe it's that coworker who always talks down to you. Maybe it's your family who knows exactly how to push your buttons. Maybe it's strangers online who type words meant to sting. Whatever it is, identify it. Because you can't master what you don't recognize. But awareness is just the beginning. The real power comes in the pause. That tiny gap between the trigger and your reaction, that's where freedom lives. Most people don't even see it. They're triggered and boom, they explode. No space, no pause, no thought. But if you can slow down, if you can breathe and recognize, I don't have to react right now, you take your power back. Here's something powerful. The pause is where wisdom is born. The pause gives you the space to choose dignity over drama, peace over pettiness, strength over shouting. Let me ask you this. How many times have you regretted staying calm? Probably never. But how many times have you regretted exploding in anger? Too many to count. That right there should tell you something. Calm never costs you. but anger always does. Another way to build calm is perspective. Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 minutes, in 5 days, in 5 years? 90% of the things we get angry about are meaningless. A rude driver, you'll forget them by tomorrow. An online comment, it won't matter next week. But we let these tiny things rob us of priceless peace. Imagine if you stopped giving little moments that much power. Imagine if you chose to see them for what they really are: irrelevant distraction. Then comes detachment. This is one of the most freeing things you can learn. What people say about you is not about you. It's about them. Their words are a reflection of their heart, their pain, their insecurity. When someone lashes out, it's not proof of your weakness, it's proof of theirs. Don't carry their poison into your spirit. Let it fall to the ground. I want you to picture this. You're walking through life holding a clear glass of water. Every insult, every criticism, every drama someone throws at you, it's like mud being hurled your way. But here's the secret. You don't have to let that mud into your glass. You can keep your water pure. You can keep your peace clear, because their mud doesn't belong to you. And something amazing happens when you live this way. People notice. At first, they'll test you. They'll try harder to shake you. They'll poke, prod, and push because the world doesn't trust calm at first. But when they see that you don't bend, when they see that you can't be baited, they begin to respect you. They start to wonder, how does this person stay so steady? How do they keep their peace when everyone else is losing theirs? Without saying a word, your calm becomes a testimony. You inspire without even trying, because people are desperate for peace. They're tired of drama, tired of anger, tired of chaos. And when they see peace in you, it gives them hope that they can find it too. Your silence speaks volumes. Your steady spirit preaches louder than any sermon. Your ability to stay unbothered teaches others that it's possible to rise above. Think of the ripple effect. One person decides not to get angry, and suddenly the whole atmosphere changes. A father who chooses calm instead of rage changes the tone of his home. A leader who stays steady instead of shouting creates a culture of respect. A friend who doesn't feed into drama brings peace to an entire circle. That's the power you hold. You're not just protecting your own peace, you're shaping the peace of everyone around you. And here's the beautiful truth. When you build calm as a habit, it becomes your identity. At first, it's effort. At first, it feels unnatural. But over time, calm becomes your default. The things that used to send you over the edge won't even touch you anymore. You won't even have to try. It will be who you are. So decide today. Practice the pause. Protect your peace. Refuse to carry other people's poison. Because when you do, you won't just live a calmer life, you'll live a stronger life. And in that strength, you'll become a light in a world that's drowning in anger. When you look back at history, you realize something powerful. The men and women who changed the world weren't the ones who shouted the loudest or reacted the fastest. They were the ones who stayed calm when everyone else was losing control. Think about Mahatma Gandhi. He faced one of the mightiest empires on earth, but he didn't pick up a sword. He didn't scream, threaten, or rage. He chose calm. He chose silence. He chose non-violence. And do you know what happened? His calm shook the world harder than any weapon could. An empire built on force and fear crumbled in the face of a man who refused to be provoked. Think about Martin Luther King Jr., surrounded by hatred, insulted, attacked, jailed. He never allowed anger to own him. Did he feel it? Of course he was human. But he refused to let anger dictate his actions. He chose peace as his weapon, and his calmness inspired millions. His speeches weren't just words, they were waves of calmness cutting through generations of noise. Or think about Nelson Mandela. 27 years locked away, stripped of freedom, humiliated. Imagine the anger he could have carried. But when he walked out of prison, he didn't walk out bitter. He walked out calm. He walked out free, not just physically, but emotionally. And that calmness gave him the power to lead a broken nation toward healing instead of revenge. These men weren't weak. They were stronger than armies. And the strength they carried was not the strength of fists or fury. It was the strength of calm. But you don't have to look only at history. Even in everyday life, the people you admire most are often the calm ones. Maybe it's a teacher who never raises their voice yet commands respect. Maybe it's a boss who doesn't explode under pressure, but instead guides the team with clarity. Maybe it's that one friend who never feeds into drama, who stays steady when everyone else is panicking. That's why you trust them. That's why you listen when they speak. Because calm carries authority. Now here's the truth. Anger makes you loud, but calm makes you heard. People remember calm. People follow calm. People are drawn to calm. And if you want to influence others, if you want to lead, if you want to live above the noise, then calm must become your way of life. But calm isn't something you fake. You can't pretend it, because life will test you. Sooner or later, someone will press the right button, and the real you will come out. That's why you have to build calm from the inside. It has to be real. It has to be who you are. And how do you build it? You practice it in the small moments. Don't wait for the big test. Start with the little ones. When someone cuts you off in traffic, instead of cursing, breathe. When your phone buzzes with a rude comment online, instead of typing back, smile and put the phone down. When someone talks over you in a meeting, instead of exploding, let your silence speak. These are your training grounds. Every time you stay calm, you're building strength. Every time you choose peace, you're proving to yourself that you are stronger than the trigger. Think of it like lifting weights. The first time feels heavy. The second time you're still sore. But the more you lift, the stronger you get. One day, what used to crush you will feel light. That's how calm works. The insults that once ruined your whole day will barely touch you anymore. The drama that used to consume your mind will feel beneath you. And eventually you'll rise so high above it all that people won't even bother trying to. And here's something even more powerful. Your calm becomes contagious. People who spend time around you will feel it. Your kids will learn it. Your friends will mirror it. Your workplace will shift because of it. Calm spreads faster than anger. Anger burns, but calm builds. And the world is starving for people who build instead of burn. I remember a story about a firefighter who was asked how he stays calm when everything around him is burning, people screaming chaos everywhere. He said, "If I panic, they panic. If I'm calm, they calm down. My calm can save lives." That's true not just for firefighters, it's true for all of us. Your calm can save your family. Your calm can save your relationships. Your calm can save your career. So the next time someone tries to get under your skin, remember, you are bigger than that moment. You are stronger than that insult. You are wiser than that fight. Don't go down to their level. Don't let them write your story. Stay calm. Rise higher. Be the eagle, not the crow. Because when you learn to live this way, something incredible happens. You don't just avoid anger, you become untouchable. You don't just keep peace, you carry peace everywhere you go. And that peace will open doors, heal hearts, and leave a legacy that anger never could. At the end of the day, anger will always knock on your door. It will disguise itself as injustice, as disrespect, as betrayal, as impatience. It will come wearing many faces, but it will always have the same goal: to steal your peace, to control your mind, and to make you smaller than you really are. But now, you know the truth. You know that anger isn't strength, it's surrender. You know that when you explode, you're not proving power, you're proving weakness. You know that calm isn't silence out of fear, it's silence out of mastery. It's choosing to rise when everyone else falls. And here's the part I want you to remember forever. You have the power. You always have. Nobody else is in charge of your emotions. Not your boss, not your family, not the stranger who insults you, not the critic who doubts you. The power has always been in your hands. You decide whether to react or remain steady. You decide whether to explode or rise above. You decide whether to waste your energy on anger or invest it in peace. So let today be the line in the sand. Let today be the moment you say, no more. No more letting small things steal big peace. No more giving control of your emotions to people who don't deserve it. No more wasting energy on drama that doesn't move you forward. Instead, decide that from this day forward, your calm will be your crown. Your peace will be your weapon. Your silence will be your greatest reply. Imagine living this way for the rest of your life. Imagine walking through storms with your head high through insults, with a smile through chaos with unshakable strength. Imagine your children learning from your calm. Imagine your friends finding hope in your steadiness. Imagine strangers feeling peace just by being around you. That's not just a dream, it's your future if you choose it. And make no mistake, it will take practice. You will stumble. There will be days when anger sneaks back in, but every time you choose calm, you win. Every time you pause instead of react, you win. Every time you let go of the poison instead of drinking it, you win. And these small wins stacked day after day will transform you. One day you'll look back and realize that the things that used to bother you don't even touch you anymore. The words that once cut deep will sound like whispers in the wind. The insults that once shook you will bounce off like raindrops on stone. You'll realize that you've become untouchable, Not because the world got kinder, but because you got stronger. And when that day comes, you'll understand something profound. Peace is the highest form of power, so carry this with you. Anger is easy, calm is rare. Anyone can shout, but very few can stay silent. Anyone can react, but very few can rise. Be one of the few. Be the calm in the storm. Be the strength in the noise. Be the one who cannot be shaken. And when people ask, how do you stay so calm? How do you never get angry? How do you remain unbothered when the world is so loud? Smile, because you'll know the truth. You've mastered yourself, and that's the greatest victory anyone can ever achieve. Choose calm, live calm, be calm, and let your peace be the legacy you leave behind.